Welcome back, everybody, to another International Dog Day celebration. In this series, I'll be featuring 5 different dogs from 5 different video game series, and while talking about them, I'm going to play a little game with you. You are going to have to find 5 hidden Leos throughout the video. There's going to be 1 per video game section, and he's just going to be on screen for 1 to 3 seconds. What I want you to do, identify him and write the timestamp in the comments. And then I'll have a pinned comment later on and I'll post all the winners there. So again, it's a little hide and seek game. While I'm talking about these different dogs from different video games, I'll also be hiding 5 little Leos for you to find. Let's begin with game number 1. Earthworm Jim, a childhood favorite of mine that I played on PC. Now, I had no idea at the time that this was just one installment in a greater series and that it would go on to spawn a cartoon and a comic and toys. I think there was a cartoon anyways. It looks absurd, it's dark, it's creepy, it's a little bit gross. But it's a really fun game, and for anyone who grew up with Ren and Stimpy, you're probably getting those vibes from it too. So this is a unique game where you're using your head as a whip, using your blaster to shoot all kinds of enemies and to keep these tentacles out of the way. But this level, the only one to feature Peter Puppy, is so frustrating. Now, who is Peter Puppy? He's this happy-go-lucky, invincible alien dog, and he's just going for a little stroll. Maybe he got lost, but Earthworm Jim's gonna help him get back home. What happens if Peter Puppy falls into a pit? What happens if Peter Puppy gets hit by an enemy? He becomes this raging, mutated giant thing, grabs you in his teeth, and takes you back in the level. But you know what? It's not his fault. It's the developers. Peter Puppy, he's just a sweet little dog. The next game, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. This is The Legend of Zelda returning to open world gameplay for the first time since the NES. A lot changed in these games that make them feel different from the previous entries. For example, you've heard people complain that, oh, the dungeons are different. Where are the dungeons? Now we just have these shrines. I like the shrines. I like solving puzzles. They're really short and to the point. As you're going about your adventure in Hyrule, you're going to come across these stables, and at these stables, you're going to run into the Hylian Retrievers. These cute little dogs don't look like they do too much at first, but actually, if you interact with them, feed them, and befriend them, they will assist Link. They'll lead you to something hidden and buried somewhere on the plot of land. When you use your magnesis and you pull it out of the ground, there you go. And aside from the Hylian Retrievers helping you out in that way, they're also just a lot of fun to hang out with. You've had a long day of adventuring, you're tired from all the questing and all the puzzle solving. Park Link at a stable and just chill out for a few minutes with the company of a good dog. Next up, Dragon Age Origins, a pretty classic Western RPG. In this game, you get to pick from different character backgrounds. You could be a noble, you could have different races, either an elf, a human, or a dwarf. You could be a mage or a thief. You know how it goes. It's an RPG, so you mix and match from these different templates. If you pick the noble background, then you are born into a world that is full of political strife, backstabbings, and of course a greater evil that looms over the world. The other fun thing about picking the noble background is that you are quickly introduced to a hound companion. This guy is a Mabari hound. This dog is actually a pretty good companion, a really strong character in your party. Later on, you might want to switch him out for someone a little more involved and exciting, like a mage with all kinds of different spells, but I liked having the hound on my team for as long as possible. Outside of battle, you're actually really going to enjoy your interactions with him and witnessing interactions between him and other party members. He's a very sweet and intelligent dog. It's very fun seeing the loyalty that he has for his owner and how helpful he could be as well. Next up, back to my childhood one more time for Pokémon Red and Blue. I think everybody who's a fan of the Pokemon series can remember their first games, and for me, the experience is getting my own teal Game Boy and Pokemon Red when I was 8 years old. In these Pokemon adventures, you go from town to town, collecting different Pokemon, training them up to higher levels, and taking on different gym leaders. Now back then, I enjoyed going on my adventure and eventually coming across Growlithe, the dog Pokemon. Growlithe does have an evolution, but I'm going with Growlithe as my pick because at the time that I first played these games, my family would actually compare Growlithe to our dog, Molly. Molly was a great girl, great dog to have and grow up with. Sometimes she would display that fiery side that Growlithe had, or her fur would get a little bit longer and she'd puff up to look like him. But now, as I'm replaying them, I feel it's only fitting that I get a Growlithe early in my adventure through some illegitimate means, and I name him Leo, and we prepare to take on the gym leaders and eventually the Elite Four together. And finally, we are ending with Grapple Dog, a fun platformer that I just started playing last week, and I highly recommend it. If you guys see this one on sale, it's probably only going to be a few bucks. I think you'll get your money's worth. So yes, what you have is a platformer, and it features a grappling hook. There are some other mechanics involved, of course. You've got this ground pound ability where you become a little ball, and then you pound whatever enemies are below you. This grappling hook is where all the fun is, and the levels also are designed amazingly to make full use of this item. So you'll be swinging and using that momentum to launch yourself high up in the air or as far as possible. I'm only on World 4 right now, but every time I come across a new mechanic or a new level design, I'm impressed by what the developers did and how they made it fun to both go for the collectible elements or to go through the level as quickly as possible from start to finish. Of course, you can't have Grapple Dog without the dog, and that is Pablo, the main character that you play as. At first, it seems like he's stereotypically slow and aloof, but as you interact with more characters, as he comes face to face with the dangers in this world, you see that he's actually a pretty bright character, and he's good-natured as well. So Pablo, because you spend the most time with him in this game compared to the other dogs from other games, I'm putting him at number 1 in the countdown. And that's it. So concludes another list of 5 great dogs from video games. There will be 5 more next year, and so on and so forth. Did you find all 5 Leos hidden throughout? Or maybe you got to rewind the video and take a closer look and find out where I've ended up hiding him. Good luck to everybody. Again, post your timestamps in the comments section, and I will compile the winners into the pinned comment. Thanks everybody for watching. Go give your dog a hug if you have one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.